y'all? It's your girl on Casualty TV, and I'm back with another video. And today is another serious topic. And I know I promised you guys part 2. You will get part 2 of BeautyCon, but this is something that has been on my mind lately. And I'm like, let me address it. So if you're new here, do not forget to hit that subscribe button and come join the family. And hit that like button if you like what you see, okay? Now, let's get into this. I wasn't able to sleep at no one's house. There was no friend's house we can go to. Because, okay, so it's me and my sister and my brother. My brother's 5 years older than me. My sister's just a year older than me. And everybody rolled together. So, being a girl, my mother was super protective over us. And I think my brother should have had the same thing. But it seems like there is just there's this wall that is separating girls from boys, and it's like it's a double standard thing that happens, and I think boys should be protected as well. So what I'm saying is we couldn't sleep places. My brother was able to sleep out, and he was able to go to grandma's house, aunt, cousin, everybody. He was able to go places when he asked. Now, me and my sister, we wasn't able to go anywhere. We slept, anytime we would sleep at my aunt's house. We were able to do that. And that was the only place we were ever able to sleep at. And my mother always did the check, like, make sure nobody's touching you. Make sure nobody's being fresh. Make sure you're not smiling in any man's face. Now, we couldn't smile in any man's face, whether if we was going to the park, in school. We weren't able to smile in no adult male face at all. And there was just this how should I say, it was pretty much fear that she put inside of us on what men are capable of. Now, she never went into detail on what it is that they are capable of, but it was just always this fear that she always spoke on. Now, she wanted us to be protected. We were able to spend time at home with our dads, but we never got baths by him. I don't know if he changed our diapers as a child or not. Now, I don't know if my mom just heard about bad things happening or if she experienced bad things as a child, but my mother had this fear. She put this fear in me and my sister head about men. And we were on lockdown, like, and I know a lot of kids go through this, and if you are one of those kids who can't go nowhere, anytime you actually go to a party or anything, your parents are canceling it, respect that and love them for it, because it is a block that I think that a child needs. Like, when you hit your teens, you think you're a child, you think you're an adult. You're not an adult, you're still a child. And your protection is so essential for life. This fear protected me for so long, and I just knew all the things to avoid. I knew that going to the bathroom means privacy. I knew that taking my clothes off in front of someone, I needed privacy. It was so much that we were protected from, and this pretty much gave us standards because we knew what to avoid and how to avoid it. Now, with that being said, I grew up. I tried to not get a boyfriend because I had this fear in my head that I possessed something that was so important that someone wanted it. And what she never put on it was the level of talking about sex. It was so many things that she never spoke on, whether it was oral or actually just doing it. We had to stay, we stayed in the child's place, basically. We were out of the light of anything inappropriate. We were out of the light of it. Now, growing up after being taught so much, Okay, so first off, I got older, and my thing was I knew I'm not smiling in any man's face. I knew how to carry myself as a woman. All of the things she instilled in me, I held on to it tight. Now, everyone always asks, like, what happened? Like, why aren't you modeling anymore? Like, why did you give up? Like, what happened? Like, what are you not doing it? Like, is it the money? Like, what is it? Okay, so what happened was I started meeting the wrong people, and I was being brought to different places. So I was pretty much going out more, and I was early 20s. I was in my early 20s, and I was put on to these photographers who I thought was going to be like really good for me and what I needed. I think I might insert some photos. I'm not sure whether if I will or not. So I just felt like I was doing really good because I was constantly having photo shoots. And the thing is, with trying anything, most of the photographers were male. So it's like, okay, so male here, male there. Now, I had already had this closed door because what my mother had taught me, like male, I try to avoid, try to have respect for myself, dignity, and everything. And it was this man, I think this, I don't know, this might have been the start. No. So, no, it actually was. I met this man who told me that he needed a secretary, and I'm like, okay, I think I could do that because at the time I was unemployed and I definitely needed money. So, I basically was just by his side through a whole lot, not really understanding what's happening. So, as this secretary, I wasn't doing a thing, okay? So I would show up. He had this, like this, I don't know what to call it. It was basically his office space. Now his office space didn't consist of anything of an office. He threw parties at this place. It was, I don't know what the heck he was really into, but when he went to go look at cars and everything, I was there. When he wanted to think and talk about things, I was there. And then we had this one conversation where he started, he's like, oh, what kind of car you want? And so I was like, oh, you know, I like cars. And like this type of car, I always wanted a white car with a brown interior, everything. So one day we went to look at cars, not for me, for him. So I found this car that was like, oh my God, this is me. And he was like, yeah, one day you soon get that, whatever. And I was holding his briefcase and all of that. And when we left, he was speaking on how he wanted me to change how I look, and this is the type of women he's been with, and he wants me to start dressing like them. And at the time, I still didn't understand that he's trying to make me, okay, so he was older. I'm not sure how old, but there was gray spots. So I realized, I'm like, wait, is this guy like trying to turn me into like a sugar baby or anything? So the thing is, I was pretty much making $25 an hour, and I would spend like a few hours with him, and we were pretty much doing nothing. It was pretty much like I came in, we spoke. It was me, basically he was hanging out with a young girl, and I didn't pay no attention to it. I just thought maybe that this was my boss, and I'm making money now, so whatever. So one day, he speaks to me and he's like, oh, he really want me to start changing how I dress. And all I was into was getting manicures. So he was like, he don't want me to do manicures no more. He wanted me to get the long nails on my hands. And I'm like in my head like, no. So I spoke up for myself and I said, nope, I'm not really into that, so I don't plan on doing it. And then we got deeper into the conversation, and he was like, you know what, I don't really see the reason of having you around. It's like I just give you money, you don't do anything, like you don't make me feel good. You don't rub my back. You don't give massages or anything. And I'm just in my head like, why would I be giving you massages? So I just sat quiet looking at him like, in my head, I'm like, ain't nobody giving you no massages. You saw myself give you a massage. So he kept running his mouth, talking about how this, and that. And that basically was the last day I worked. Because I'm like, ain't nobody giving no old man no massages. So you out on that one. So I'm like, you know what? I need money, but maybe I don't need it that much, because you trying to turn me into a little sugar baby, and ain't nobody got time for that crap. Next. So, next thing. I have met 2 photographers through this one girl, and I was just a little bit scared because I didn't know what to expect, because I didn't want it to be nothing fast. Like, I didn't want no fast-paced nothing. Like, you really have to befriend people within your bracket of maturity and everything, because you can really get wheeled into something that you wasn't even ready for. I ended up in the Bronx. Now, one thing about me is I hate the Bronx. I don't like going there at all for nothing. I just had really bad experiences. Anytime I was in the Bronx or on my way to the Bronx, it was just always bad. It was like, it was basically with being sexually assaulted. I didn't want to go to the Bronx. So now, I met these photographers. They seemed pretty cool, and I ended up meeting with them again. I did a photo shoot with them, and I ended up doing another one. So this one was pretty much one-on-one. The last photo shoots, it was more than one person. This time it was just one-on-one. And looking back at the photos I was taking, I had no business taking these type of photos. Was I clothed? Yes, I was fully clothed. But I just thought maybe I'm grown now and I could be looked at as a sex symbol and all this other bull crap that I didn't even need to be into. So I had this idea of this. At this time, I had like a really short haircut, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to mention, this photo shoot was at his house. Yeah. That was and should have been a flag, but somehow I didn't flag it. So photo shoot was at his house. In his living room, he had like the curtains. I pretty much was taking pictures by the curtains, and I was just like, yeah, you know, I'm trying to get comfortable taking these pictures. And I'm like, all I knew was I wanted to be a model. And when I posted my pictures up on Facebook, or back then I had a Model Mayhem, I don't remember my login, but it still exists. So I was just like, I'm gonna just post it, and I'm gonna find better photographers down the line. Yeah, okay. So now, I always wanted to try the look where the woman had on a really big t-shirt. I mean, really big white button-up shirt from a man. And I thought, yeah, I'm gonna do this photo shoot and it's gonna be good. Now, I guess I can say I was naive at the time. I don't know. It's like, I can't say I was gullible, but I didn't have my voice yet. Like, I didn't voice my opinion, what I thought was right, what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing. So at this time, he was like, oh, he don't have a white button-up shirt. I ended up wearing his, okay? So he didn't have a button-up shirt that was white, so he pulled out a pink one. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll try this one. Now, during the time, anytime I tried switching my outfits, I always went inside the room. Like, I went into another room to change my clothes. So at this time, he passed me the shirt, and then I'm here like, I need some privacy to get ready, right? So I'm like, yeah, so I'm gonna maybe go to the next room to change or something. He goes, no, you can stay in here. So I'm like, okay. So now I put the shirt on, and he comes back in, right? And I swear, when stuff like this happen to you, you are not even yourself. It's like you leave your body. Like, you're pretty much looking at yourself outside of your body. And that's what I was doing. He goes and tells me, let me see your breasts. And he's here speaking, oh, you know, you just got to get comfortable in front of the camera and all of that. And I'm just here listening to him. And I'm just in my head like, what am I showing you my boobs for? First off, they're small, right? And it was just like, boy, they're mine. Why do I have to show you it? Do you think I showed him it? You're probably thinking no, but I did, because I wasn't who I am now. I had opened my shirt slowly and I had closed it back, and I was just like, I'm so confused, because I'm like, what is it that he wanted to see them? And I'm just in my head like, this is really weird. Say something. And I couldn't even say anything, right? So now I just put the shirt on, and then I just remembered I changed my mind. Like the photo shoot that I said I wanted, I didn't even want it no more. Yeah, this is a dub. It's time to go. I'm ready to go home. And at the time, I remember I got back on that train and I felt disgusted, because I'm like, what did I just do? When am I going to speak up? What? When are you going to speak up? Say something. You got to say something, because this is so terrible. And it's like, with age comes clarity, because I can't say you get so strong and all that. No, it just becomes clarity. And years went by, and I'm at work, and this guy pretty much was in the place of taking advantage of me, and all I could say was no. And I'm just like, first off, why is any of this happening right now? Why is any of it happening? Why? I was so confused. And it's like, at the time, I was once again back out of my body, and I'm just like, what do you do? And in this part, you're starting to think like, am I important? What am I really worth? Like, what do I really want out of life? You're pretty much thinking of every freaking thing besides what's happening. And I'm just in my head thinking like, nah, this ain't it. And I'm just thinking like, nah, I don't want to be raped. I don't want to be raped at all. And the words that just started coming out of my mouth was no. So I'm just like, no. I'm saying no. And no means no. That's what it means. No doesn't mean maybe try a little bit later. No doesn't mean let me convince her. No does not mean anything but much. And it's like, a lot of people are going through it. A lot of people are facing it through the families. They're being raped and molested, all of this by the family members. And it's like, who do you speak to? You speak to someone that you're close with. And trust me, they will believe you. And if you want them to say something, they will. If you don't want them to say something, they won't. And just try to figure out how you're going to go on with it. How you're going to get to tomorrow. Because tomorrow is there, and I know I need therapy on it. Because it's like, sometimes I just be ready to fight. And it's like, I'm so ready to defend myself so much. It's like, no. Because I done been through too much, okay? I've had people who just preyed on my young brain. I had people who manipulated me, who made me feel so out of character. And let me tell you, don't let nobody have you out here feeling like that, because I did, and I don't regret what happened, but I do replay it in my brain, and that's where I'm gonna end the story. So if you like this story, give it a thumbs up. You can comment down below. If you're too scared to say anything that others will read, do DM me on Instagram. It is the same title as my channel, Uncasualty TV, spelled exactly the same way. Shoot me a DM and we could talk, because I am a person who everyone comes to speak to, and your business is always a secret. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.